Well, Maurice, and welcome to Things to Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's video items only, the investment top today would be Ethereum ticker ETH. So it's my second video that I'm posting again today. With respect to recording times of 4:36 p.m. on Eastern time on Wednesday today, it's currently trading $3,219, up about 1.32% so far. In addition to Ethereum being, green today, across the board is relatively, healthy today. Besides Solana, seems like with respect to the cycle, we are slowly depleting with respect to the surge that hits all the way to $84 mark, within the last, I would say, 21 days so far of the surge. So it seems like it's normalizing. And respect to some of the news that's percolating around specifically on Ethereum, I've been keeping tabs for the last, 6 hours so far, ever since my lunchtime. Today's a relatively chill day. Most of my partners are actually, on vacation or, we're just doing our own thing, if you may. So it's a relatively down day during the summer as people are going on vacations right now. With respect to some of the news that I've been collecting in the last 6 hours, the first one's talk about mid-cap crypto coins dominates Bitcoin and Ethereum in August, which makes sense, right? We've seen that Cardano and obviously Solana and XRP respectively have been surging higher in the percentage perspective, right? Obviously, altcoins are typically more volatile because of the price sensitivity, and they're more prone to manipulations as well, knowing the fact that the price level and the market cap are relatively smaller in comparison to more of the pseudo stable coin, that's been characterized, towards Bitcoin, but seems like Ethereum as well, right? Another one that's talking on CNBC's respective depictions around TikTok changes policies. So now all the cryptocurrencies influencers consider moving to the rival platforms, similar to like Instagram, Facebook, etc., like Snapchat. Me, I'm personally not a TikTok user. I am on Instagram, but I don't really promote anything with respect to, cryptocurrencies updates. But most of the stuff that we've seen on, TikTok are most of the time just like looking for hype, and pump, and we in the business of risk mitigation, so I don't see a lot of marketability with respect to what I can bring on TikTok. The last thing that I want to do or to be irresponsible is to be pumping or dumping respective cryptocurrencies or stock, right? The reason that I invest with no emotion is because that's the way to do it, right? We use logics, we use quantitative analysis, we read between the lines with respect to what we see in front of the charts in front of us, and then do our macro and microeconomical studies by keeping ourselves up to date with respect to news and how it's percolating, and obviously use our spidey sense to encapsulate all of that to make the execution of a price point, right? So I'm not, I tend to stay away from trying to hype or pump because I think that's irresponsible of me to do so. I'm just reading the charts, and frankly, I have no emotions ties to Ethereum or Bitcoin or any investments at all. These are just numbers that I use to read, and if it works out for me, I'd execute. If it doesn't work out, I stay away. I'm not sad about it or angry about it or super happy about it. I'm just relatively neutral, and I think that's the way you want to be performing or controlling your mindset when you're investing, right? And I think TikTok is putting some policies around because some of the influencers are probably driving some volatility into the market, which probably disfavor or have some contradictions with respect to the investors, that are whales or corporate investors that in comparison to how they want the market to be manipulated. So it's we that's a is a gray area, and obviously it's a speculation, and it's a conspiracy at the same time that I don't have a confirmation of that, but it is irresponsible for people, like influencers like myself, I guess. I'm on YouTube, I'm just talking on the charts, to be speaking in that aspect, in that perspective, if you may, right? Because that's just irresponsible. It's people's hard-earned money, and you should not be, or these people should not be, manipulating or try to sell people the hope or the dream, without any, consideration of other people's feelings, right? So that's important. Another one, moving on to the next article, is 7 hours ago, with respect to a 12 years old coder is set to earn over 400K after about 2 months of selling NFTs. So it seems like there are some young individuals, precocious ones, that are able to make some great gains, in the last 2 months with the popularization, the commercialization of NFTs, right, in the artistic community. Buying a digital picture, if you may, right? So it's interesting to see, how that's percolating. Another news to talk about on 10 hours ago with respect to Eth, which is a Ethereum organized event that's going to be online. Basically, it's happening from the 26th all the way to 29th, or the 27th until the 29th, depending on what time zone you're at. And that could subsequently be, some anticipated pressure because of more market awareness and exposure. So we should technically have some, buying pressure. However, with respect to the Jackson Hole speech, that's also aligns with the timing of this specific event. And the weekend affectation. So we have to watch how the volatility will look like. But ultimately, we are not in the business of predicting. We are in the business of risk mitigation, right? Ultimately, predictions are speculations. It's contingent on corporate adoptions and market utilizations. But we in the business of risk mitigation, and the level that we identified so far, and that's all in the news, by the way, would be the $3,000 mark, the 2,750, and the 2,450, right? And just to use the cheat sheet again, right? Let's take a look at the cheat sheet, right? And I'm using a new cheat sheet. This is a little bit more, colorful, I guess. So I guess it's easier to read for some people. It seems like we are very, very similar in terms of how we're trading right now, right? We have that surge comparable to this. We have the euphoria, right, which we got to the 3,379, and then subsequently we sold off a little bit, which we did, right, and now we at that stage of complacency, and people are just like kind of psychologically convincing themselves that, we just need to cool off for the next rally, right? We need to cool off, right? But next thing you know, you're gonna see like, why am I getting margin call? This dip is taking longer than expected. Like, what is going on? And people start freaking out, right? And then people is gonna start denying, like, it will come back, no problem. And then next thing you know, you're gonna see like a chain of just negative media affectation, driving us to be like, panic, shit, everybody's selling to get out, right? And this always is the case that we've seen historically, right? So something we have to be mindful of. It seems like the picture is very comparable, and I'm not making this up. I didn't make this up, right? This came out from I don't know what publication this is. It's called WallStreetCheatSheet.com. I'm not sponsored by them. I didn't make this up, right? This is something that we've learned in finance class back in the day when I was in college, right? So something to be mindful of. But with respect to price target, 2,750, 2,450 would be the level I would buy at until we completely cool down, using the cheat sheet, right? And hopefully this is helpful in terms of how you risk mitigate and control, and give you that clarity on how you execute going forward. It definitely is not the most ideal, right? I know like trading should be dynamic, should be fun. It's a game, right, for some people. But it is the way it is. We are in the complacency level, and the last thing I want you to do is to fall into that trap. That we are going to be okay. But we using historical trends, and history and technical analysis never lies, right? So hopefully using this will be helpful to you. And appreciate you always, and stay tuned for things to come up. Take care. Bye.